20th song, he goes on to say, நான் ஒன்று தானத்து நான் நான் என்றொன்றது தானாகத் தோன்றுமே உந்தி பர தானது பூன்றமாமுந்தி பர. Now we have seen the place, scrutinized the place from where this feeling called I issues forth in this previous song. What happens when we do that? We say the I falls off. Question arises, where does it fall off? If the snake disappears, what happens when the snake disappears? The rope appears, because that is the adhisthana, as we have seen. That is the substratum or the base from which the snake came forth. And now when we analyze, based on keen scrutiny and the words of people, Apta Vakyam it's called, and the words of people who have learned, who know, they say it is not a snake. Go, I have seen it, I have already done it. I was fooled once upon a time, but I realized that it is not a snake. If you want, go near and do your investigation. And such Apta Vak, we call it. Apta means a learned person. So we go near the snake now and scrutinize and find out there's no snake. And what happens? The rope now shows up clearly. Similarly, when this feeling called I drops off, நான் ஒன்று தானத்து, the place where the I feeling merges, that a feeling called I, a continuous feeling called I, automatically surges forth. And this feeling is not a thought. This is not a thought like our I thought that came out as a spark from Satchitananda Parabrahman. This is Satchitananda Parabrahman itself. In a lot of books we have seen it return. I dash. If you have read, I don't know if you've read a lot of books, English books, Ashram book itself. The Bhagavan used to say nan. There is a feeling called I continuously will come. They used the term called I dash I dash I dash I dash I like that. But the actual import of that I dash I or nan endru undru, the one feeling called I, the pure feeling called I will rise forth. I am I. If you ask who are you, I will immediately say I am Vasu. Because right now I am at the level of the personality. Or I am a male. I am a 52-year-old male. Or I am the general manager or a vice president in this company. Some externalities we used to keep. But the true import of the word I is, if you want to be very meaningful, honest about who you are, say, if somebody asks who are you, the only answer you can give is I am I. That's all. That I is God. And Bhagavan has told in many places, I am is the first name of God. That is why he says, God is nothing but I. The pure, unadulterated I, which is in the substratum of the rising mind. So Bhagavan says, you keep considering, okay, you find all this very difficult, just keep thinking, I am. It will take you to the place. It's equivalent to Vichara Bhagavan used to say. In the book Who Am I is clearly given that also. So if somebody says, I don't know, I'm trying to sit. But if you consider the point made by Bhagavan, both this Vichara and that is same. Because in this Vichara, what we are trying to do, we are trying to get rid of all external thoughts and focus on the feeling called I. Now, when Bhagavan says, just keep thinking of I am with elimination of other thoughts, already your attention is come to that I am, because other than that you are not doing. So, veli vishayangalai vittu manantan oli uru, seeing its form of light. It is already doing that. And because you are not thinking of it, with the exclusion of every other thought, you are thinking of the thought called I am. The first part and the second part of the 16th sloka is Chi. So, there is no difference. It's only Bhagavan making, for the sake of people who are finding it difficult or complaining, Bhagavan, this is difficult, for them, he's making it like a japa. He's making it appear like a japa. Like I can say in japa, I can say Arunachala, 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 repeating the name of the God. And Bhagavan says, I am the first name of God. This, I don't know how it happened. In English, it's called I am. In Sanskrit, it's called I am. I don't know if it is a coincidence or however to explain it, but this is how it is done. So in popular languages, all root words, including Hebrew, including all the ancient languages, they all somewhere share a connection of root, meaning that everything is same. All is one. Ellam ondre. There is a book, a very, very important book that everybody should read, a small book, highly recommended by Bhagavan. And I think, I don't know if I shared it in the group once before, but for the benefit of others, I will share it one more time. It's a very small book, but a very powerful one. Everything is one. Ekam, ekam. Ellam ondre. It's called, and the English translation, all is one, is the meaning. So, here, this nan ஒன்று தானத்து நான். This nan is what we were discussing. I am I. This is what one can say about oneself, meaning nothing else. Anything else, in any other way you try to describe yourself, you are using your mind and you are completely come out of the Satchitananda Parabrahma into the rising I called ego. So we should eliminate that, and that is what the 20th sloka says. What happens? In 16th sloka, he laid the concept, what to do. In 17th, he said, by thorough scrutiny of the mind, we'll understand that there is nothing called mind. And in the 18th sloka, he says, even though there is a semblance of mind, it is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. Of all the thoughts, the thought called I is the first thought. And in 19th sloka, he set forth as to what to do. Now that I know that a feeling called I is there, where does this I rise from? Scrutinize, and that I will die. This is Jnana Vichara. And in 20th song, he said, when this Jnana Vichara is practiced, this I will fall somewhere. And if you ask where it falls on itself. That is, it becomes itself. It merges on the Satchitananda and the Parabrahma. And at that time, after the merging, one will understand a separate I never ever came from. It was all only imagination. Even this imagination won't take place at that time because there is nothing. Who is to imagine what? Only now we are able to understand that if we reach such a state, it is going to be understood by us that this ego never ever came about because there was nothing to come out of. There's nothing. Everything is become ekam. This is exactly what is known as Ajata Siddhanta. Ajata, the core of Bhagavan's teaching, of Bhagavan's own experience, and of course of all the jnanis, is nothing but Ajata. They won't even, there's nothing to agree, no one to agree that something called I came about, like a phantom like I came about accidentally or without, mysteriously, by means of, with the help of this Anirvachaniya Tattva called Maya. There is nothing, no one to say even that. You are always this I, the pristine pure I. Nothing has happened to the pristine pure I. This is what will happen when we hit the permanent, when we go to the permanent abode of I. So, that is the Ajata Siddhanta, talked in length by Bhagavan and by Gaudapadacharya, the grand preceptor of Shankara Bhagavad Pada, and Shankara Bhagavad Pada himself in all the occasions. Ajata is all that is there. Everything else is coming out of an illusion, a built-in and Sakti in the Parabrahman called Maya. And what is this Maya? Nobody is clever enough to understand or answer this Maya. One should not try to answer what Maya is, because Maya is of the nature of, its nature is inscrutable. No one can scrutinize what Maya is. Anirvachaniya. Then later on, in order to understand, people will start calling us Triguna Maya. It is called Sattva, Rajo, Tamas. These three gunas are nothing but Maya, and all that will come. But at the level of Ajata, even this Maya is not there. So, Shankara Bhagavad Padal was called by a lot of these dualistic schools as Mayavadin, the one who talks about Maya everything. But it is Shankara Bhagavad Pada who said there is no Maya. So, will you call a person who denies Maya as a Mayavadin, or a person who takes shelter under the non-existent Maya as Mayavadin? Shankara Bhagavad Pada, because these people have never understood Shankara Bhagavad Pada's teaching, they started calling him as Mayavadi. For him, for everything, he'll say Maya. He says that Maya itself is not there in the start. Such is the level of understanding of Bhagavad Pada's work. He said, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Nityam, Jivo Brahma Ivana Apara. They are non-different. These jivas are nothing but Brahma, Param Brahma. So once you use the third sentence, this is how he concludes. But these critics, they use only the first two, Brahma Satyam, Jagat Nityam. How? Because there is non-difference between Brahma, the Satyam, and the Vitya Loka. Like, without the rope, the snake is not going to come out. Like, in the same way, without that Parabrahma Satchitananda, this world is not going to come out. So, without, there are so many examples used in Vedanta, like silver and on the shell. You go to the seashore, you see a lot of shell from a distance. It appears like a silver. Immediately we want to go and pick it up, but after examination, we found this is not silver. This is only a shell. Like that, and there is a stump, a big tree like a thing, and we see from distance, and we think it is either a thief or a ghost or whatever, and then upon clear examination. But the most common example that we use is the rope and the snake analogy. So, such is the teaching of Advaita, Ajata Siddhanta, as experienced by all the saints and all the jnanis. So, up to this, from 16 to 20, if one is able to get the grasp, the meaning of sloka 16 to 20, and imbibe it and start practicing it, there's nothing much that is needed beyond these 5 slokas.